football season, and Rainy Richlands is here to crush the competition. Our unbeatable lineup of cars, trucks, and SUVs will leave you feeling like a champion every time you hit the road. Whether you're driving through rugged terrain or cruising down the city streets, Rainy Richlands has the perfect ride to tackle any challenge. Rainy Richlands is the game changer you need to take your driving experience to the next level. It's your deal, your way. Visit one of our dealerships today or shop online at RainyRichlands.com.
Championship week is here. We've got a lot of news on the rumor mill concerning the Richlands job. We're going to take a look at that, and we're going to talk about this week's Friday nights and Saturday's upcoming games. All this and more on episode 6.12. You're watching After the Whistle. All right, Coach, how was your week real quick before we get started?
It was a pretty good week. One of my dogs passed away.
Yeah, that's always sad.
We need CSI to come in to see what really happened to it.
Yeah, I seen that little chalk outline drawing up there.
Yeah, we're trying to figure out what's going on.
Yeah, well, it's always sad when you lose a family pet, and it's even more mysterious when you don't know what happened.
That's right.
But hopefully you'll get to the bottom of that. On a brighter note, it's championship week in Region D. We're going to talk about last week's games real quick and take a look at them. Some pretty exciting games took place in Region D, pretty much as we expected as far as who won and who lost, but the games are a little more interesting. We'll start with the first one, Graham 28, Gate City 7. This game was tied at 7-all at the half. I think the big adjustment that Graham made, from everything I'm understanding, is they came back out in the Wildcat and they just started pounding the ball a little bit more with Clemens. And they were able to score 2 touchdowns in the third quarter.
Well, the big thing was the reason they won was the other team didn't score in the second half.
It has a lot to do with it.
If they don't score,
and you
they
do
couldn't win. That's right.
Yeah. Well, that's pretty much how it happened, which is about what we expected. Gate City had a heck of a season. I think they've won like 5 straight there.
Yeah, it was a great season.
Finished the season 8-4. So it's good to see them, and I know they're sad to see it end on a note like that. But at the same time, they were game for a half. I think in the end, the athleticism of Graham just got to them. So Graham advances to the Region D championship game again. All right, up next we have in Division II also Union 27, Tazewell 6. This game was kind of really tight. It was 12-6 for a long time. Tazewell has a drive stopped for them on the 27-yard line, fizzled out for them there, and then they get the ball all the way down to the 1-yard line, and they come up. I think it was actually your guy Cam Boss that comes up with the interception at the 1. Uncharacteristic turnover, but at the same time, as Coach Harris, Jamie Harris, said in regards to that turnover, that interception was, they wouldn't be where they was at if it wasn't for Creasy throwing the ball.
That's right.
And it was just one of those things that happened. Graham, however, took that possession and went 99 yards, stuck the ball in the end zone, and that began.
Union.
Union, excuse me.
I talk about Graham too.
They went 99 yards, scored, and for the most part, after that, Tazewell was trying to play catch up and trying to do it real quick. And Union gets another one. Final score 27-6. So the big pick 6 there at the 1-yard line changed the momentum of that game. Tazewell played really well. I think a lot of people didn't think Tazewell would play that well, especially on the road.
Well, we know who Coach Moore's picking against the Union and Graham game tonight.
You'll be surprised. All right, so that was that sends Union into the championship game where they will host Graham. So that's going to be a rematch of an early season game there. So that's about who we expected to be in the finals. All right, next big game, Honaker 44, Rye Cove.
Not Rocco.
Rocco, Patrick Henry. Patrick, I'm all over the place. Patrick Henry 30. Patrick Henry jumps out 22 to 8 on Honaker, and I tell you, right before halftime, Honaker has basically a 2-play drive.
Both to Bandy.
Yes, and had it not, I'm not saying they wouldn't have won the ball game, but that was a major momentum changer for them to be able to go in halftime down 6 as opposed to down 22 to 8.
Yeah, well, they were up 22 to 8, and like you said, first it was a great kick return.
Yeah.
And you're watching it, and don't kick it to any of them, but they kicked it deep. The guy got it all the way up, to the 40.
Yeah.
And 2 plays later, it's 22 to 16.
Yeah, and probably less than 30, 40 seconds too.
They were 28 seconds, I think, left, or 21.8 or something. It was 20 seconds left, and they scored 2 in 2 plays.
Well, and they got the conversion also, and so they took a lot of momentum into the half. They made some changes. They come back out the second half, and they basically just outscored PH 28 to 8 in the second half. But if you play this game all the way down the line and take a look at it, the game, Honaker has a 36. It's 36 to, I think it's 22, 24 lead, and kid gets a 99. I think it was a 99-yard. I can't remember if it was. It was a 99-yard pick six.
Yeah.
The Stewart kid, Jeb Stewart.
Well, no, I think it's like 101 yard.
Okay. Well, I know it was.
Maybe.
Yeah. The Stewart kid runs it all the way back, and the next thing you know, it's 36 to 30. Honaker's got the lead with 3 minutes and 29 seconds left, and they still have a shot at it. And PH unfortunately wasn't able to stop Honaker. Honaker goes down, scores again, gets an insurance touchdown at the end of the game to secure the victory, 44 to 30. But PH was game all night, had a great first half, just wasn't able to capitalize in the second half. Honaker once again gets tested, and they dig themselves out of the hole. And so, one thing about it, Honaker's not going to go into one of these other games and somebody say they haven't at least been tested.
Right. Well, that's a good thing, because normally when you got a team like that with that many athletes, and when you play, rarely do they play all 4 quarters. But Honaker's had to do that this year.
That's
and
right.
Come way back.
Yeah, because you're going to get everybody's best every night.
Yes.
And, I know all coaches put in a lot of time in game planning, but let's be real about it. When you're playing an undefeated, top-ranked team, you're going to burn a few more hours.
That's right.
So, a lot of prep work and everything. Hats off to PH. They had a heck of a season. They gave Honaker everything they can handle.
Cobweb on
both times. Spiders.
Spiders. Badgers.
All right, the last game we've got Rye Cove 18, Twin Springs 7. Twin Springs gets out 7-0, just like they did in the first meeting between the two. Rye Cove comes out in the second quarter, scores 3 touchdowns. That was all the scoring. That was it. Second half, both teams were scoreless. Final score 18-7. The Lane kid, piled up a bunch of yards again for the Cove. But in the end, this was not just a big rivalry game. This is the second time these two schools have met one another in the playoffs, and I think Rye Cove is actually 2-0 now. Keith Warner's squad finishes the season 9-3. Had a great season 2 years in a row, graduating some kids there that are probably part of one of the winningest teams at Twin Springs, possibly ever. I'm not quite sure about that, but I know he's going to miss those seniors, and 2 of those 3 losses came to the hands of Rye Cove. So I know that's got to be a little bit hard pill to swallow, but at the same time, Rye Cove advances now to the finals, which is kind of what we was expecting. A little bit harder road to get there. All right, so that sets up our Region D championship game. We've got Graham traveling to Union, Bullitt Park. That's going to be big. And then we've got Rye Cove traveling to Honaker this week. All right, so that's a recap of this past week's games. Now we're going to talk just a little bit about the rumor mill, some stuff that's going on. Last week we talked about the Richlands job. Might as well jump on it and start talking about it again. A lot of names to throw out there, and we've heard a bunch of names, and this by no means includes all the names that we've heard.
But most of them.
But yeah, most of them, just about it. We're going to throw some of these names up and maybe give our take on why this person will or won't get the job, and just kind of have a little bit of fun with this and see what you guys think. And if you have any comments or suggestions about what your opinions are, please put it in the comment section. Let's start out with this one. This is the one that I seen someone on Southwest Sports posted this. They said it was like opening Pandora's box. What about Aaron Lowe? The name that shall not be spoken in Richlands anymore. I don't think Aaron's going to end up in this position.
I don't, but it wouldn't be it would be a good hire for them if they did.
Yeah. I think so too.
But again, I don't think that's going to happen.
I think that's a thumbs down. It's not going to happen. I think he's happy where he's at, but at the same time, I think it would be a good
But you
hire.
never know.
But with politics, you never know. And sometimes you're on the wrong side of the political side of the fence. It's nothing can change it.
That's right.
When you're on the right side of the political side of the fence, something can change it. And right now, at least knowing what I know, I think he's on the wrong side of the political fence, and that's unfortunate for him because I think he'd be a good hire for Richlands. Another name popped up is Caleb Jennings, former Richlands player and standout. I don't think that's going to happen. I give that a thumbs down. I just think it's not.
It'll be somebody with some experience.
Yeah, it's got to be.
Nothing against Caleb or
Yeah,
anything.
that's what I'm thinking. I just think he doesn't have the experience. He's got the pedigree as far as being a Richlands boy,
Yeah.
but I don't think he's
one of the
there.
best football players come out of Richlands.
What about Coach Rhodes?
Coach Rowe's out. Coach Rowe is retired from football.
Coach Rhodes. Coach Rhodes.
Oh, geez.
Now I think his name was mentioned before. I don't know if
He even went, I think, and
yeah.
interviewed and toured and everything. But with what he's got coming back and what he's done at Eastside, he's a.
I think so too. For that very reason, he's going to have a 4 or 5 year project if he goes to Richlands to try to rebuild this. And whereas he's at right now, Eastside, in my opinion, is going to be playing in this very game that we're talking about coming up, the Region D Championship.
365 days.
I think they will be in the Region D Championship game next year. So that's going out on a limb there, but I'm going with that one. So I'm going to say thumbs down to that as well. What about Keith Warner, Twin Springs? He's done
a heck of a job
heck of a
there.
job.
But again, nothing against Coach Warner or anything, but not a Richlands guy. I think the next coach will be a Richlands guy, so Warner will be out.
I think so too.
But the big thing is, and I spoke on it last week or week before, we wasn't here last week, but it's hard to hire somebody. Let's say they hire Coach Warner to come in. He wants to bring 5 guys with him.
Right.
There's no teaching jobs. I mean, it's just tough. It's a tough situation.
Yeah. Yeah, you're not going to be able to put who you want.
Because you want to bring the people in that knows what you do, and
right.
And you know how it is. But again, if they did, I mean, he's done well at Twin Springs.
And I don't know if I would leave a good thing if I was him. I wouldn't. So I don't think that's going to happen either. All right, here's a name, Chris Akers. Got to throw it out there.
Not a Richlands guy.
I don't think he's.
But he's a Tassel County guy.
Yeah.
So
I think he's going to stay
I
put.
don't know.
He's got a good thing going over there right now. I think his game, and not saying he can't play coach this level or not. That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is, I think he has found a niche at 1A, and he needs to stay where he's at.
Because nobody had Holston being any good this year.
No.
And they had a heck of a year.
Right. So I think he stays put. Ronnie Davis, this is a very popular name. I'm here to up on this one. I think this is highly probable.
Reason being, teacher in the system.
That's exactly right.
He can get the guys to help him.
He knows guys in the system
That's
also
right.
that could be pieced or moved around.
And I know a lot of people don't like hearing it, but if he gets it, I'm not saying 50-50, 40-60, 60-40. Snake Palmer might be back wearing the big R.
That would be a huge get right there for them.
That would be massive.
I'm leaning toward him as well, so I'm kind of going thumbs up to middle to thumb up on this. I think it's a probability. It's a high probability. I'm not going to say it's going to happen, but I think he's probably one of the top 2 or 3 candidates for this job right now, due to the fact that he knows the system, in the system, and is familiar with Richlands football.
Yes.
Next, Mike Compton.
Big man.
Yeah, I think with the situation right now at UVA-wise, that Mike's going to stay put. he may not be asked to stay on staff if they hire a new coach.
I don't think Mike will come back. I mean, his niche is probably college.
That's what I think.
I mean, he knows it. He's too good to not somebody have him at the college level.
Right. And I don't think he wants to teach at the high school level. I may be wrong, but I think he wants to do exactly what he's doing.
But again, Richlands guy, he can get the Richlands people around him.
I agree with you.
I just think he'll stay in college.
I think he had his taste of high school football coaching and
Patrick Henry.
Yeah, I think he's got all that out of his system. Brandon Brenning's name was also mentioned by a few people. He's on the current staff.
He's on it now.
I think nothing against Coach Harder's staff. I think that the direction they go in might exclude anybody that's currently on that staff. That doesn't mean anybody that's on that staff won't end up being on the new staff. Yeah. But I think that they could be excluded.
I mean, Brandon was a great player there at Richlands, but I'm giving it a thumbs down. I don't think that will happen.
I don't either. I don't know if the villagers will be happy. I'm not nothing against Brandon. I just think people just want some change. But we'll have to wait and see. Two more names. Shane Wicks, currently working at Honaker. I think that's.
I'm going with thumbs up.
I am too.
Either something to helping or doing something there. Mm-hmm. The name is hot. I'm either going to throw out there that better not throw that out there yet. I don't want to do that. So I'll wait. But I think it comes down to Shane Wicks and Ronnie Davis, with Ronnie having the edge. Mm-hmm. And that would be two good hires. Maybe one gets it and the other one helps. I mean, You can't go wrong right there.
So yeah, I'm with you on this. I'm here to up. So I think the probability is pretty high right now on him. And I got to throw this one out there. I don't even know if he's received a phone call yet or not or anything of that nature. Greg Tester. What do you think about Tester getting out of it?
He's the new coach at the new school that we hope is going to start being built in March. That's what he will be doing here in about 3 years. Greg Tester will be the new football coach at the new high school.
You think?
He better be. That's all I know.
I think that as well. I just don't see him picking up family moving. His son will be in high school, will be a freshman about that time. I agree with you, but I do think that there's a possibility that he's been contacted. His name.
I know he's guaranteed being contacted.
But that's our take on the Richlands job. We'll have to wait and see where to go from there. I have heard the name Lambeau Fields has been thrown out a little bit there, so we'll have to check and see.
Oh, is that a person's name?
Yeah, we'll find out. He could be called up. All right, so that's our take on the Richlands job. Now let's take a look. Let's see. Oh, wait. Now it's time to stump the Crig.
Fall season, and Rainy Richlands is here to crunch the competition. Our unbeatable lineup of cars, trucks, and SUVs will leave you feeling like a champion every time you hit the road. Whether you're driving through rugged terrain or cruising down the city streets, Rainy Richlands has the perfect ride to tackle any challenge. Rainy Richlands is the game changer you need to take your driving experience to the next level. It's your deal, your way. Visit one of our dealerships today or shop online at Rainy Richlands.
Got a little bit ahead of myself there. Time to stump the Crig, and we'll take a look at these games. So each week, folks, we attempt to stump the Crig, and we have a hermetically sealed envelope here that has been in a bank vault at True Point Bank for the last week under the watchful eye of armed security. And I understand that a SWAT team and an armored truck recently delivered this to Bellacino's. Pistol was able to pick it up, and he brought it in and hand delivered it to us. And there were 3 men in black suits all around him.
So
things are getting more mysterious each day. But the way this works is there is a question in this envelope. He's going to tell me the answer to the question before we ever open the envelope. I have not seen the contents of this envelope. Have you?
No.
All right. With that being said,
I've had it on my mind all week.
Yeah.
Carlos.
Carlos, like the name.
That is the answer.
The name Carlos.
Yes.
I can handle that, Carlos. All right.
Very simple.
Take a look and see what's in it, Carlos. What do you call a Mexican who lost his car? Carlos. That was a good one.
Shoot.
I'll give you credit for that one, Carlos.
Carlos.
Carlos. I can hear it now. All right.
You know how many people saying that right now?
Okay, but Carlos. All right, I have the second
Maria.
envelope in my hand. What is the answer?
Window.
Window. I'm trying to put it together like you did Carlos, but I don't.
Window.
All right, window. What invention allows you to see through walls?
Window.
You know, Superman.
Classic. Boy.
Superman can see through walls, and I guess I can see through walls too because I got a window.
To the window, to the walls.
To the switch. Stop. All right. Once again, we have failed to stump the Crig. Maybe next week. And speaking of next week, folks, next week we will have our season finale. We will go over some final end of the year awards and honors, as well as cover the two teams advancing into the VHSL state playoffs and talk about them a little bit. That will be our last show of the season. We'll remind you to thank our sponsor, Ramey Chevrolet, located in Richlands, Virginia. If you have an opportunity to stop by, if you're in the business for a new or a pre-owned vehicle, or if you're looking maybe to trade one in, stop by and see the folks at Ramey Chevrolet, and one of their many salesmen will take care of you, and they promise to help you do the deal. That's Ramey Chevrolet, located in Richlands, Virginia. All right, Coach, let's take a look at this. Up first, we're going to start with our Division I game. The Region D championship game, Honaker at Rye Cove. A little bit about Honaker. Honaker is 12-0, the Hogaheaty champs, and they have home field advantage in this game. They are known for the air raid offense, and Aiden Lowe is a major integral player on this team, especially when it comes to their run game. So that's a little bit of a background on Honaker. What you got on Rye Cove?
You know, I've talked with Coach Collier, and I mean, it's just he knows what he has to do. He knows it's tough. He knows, like he says they have several athletic receivers. The DBs are going to have to make plays. They're going to have to make plays.
It's going to be physical.
Yes, got to be physical, got to make plays. He said that's a key. He said the other key is controlling the ball, no turnovers. Yep. You know, you can't turn the ball over with a team like Honaker that can score at any time, and they have to keep the ball away from them.
Yep. They can't.
And that is great game plan. If they do, then they're going to be just like the last time. They're going to be right in the ball game.
Well, you can't have second and long, third and long.
That's right.
Against Honaker's, you know.
You can't have, like he also said, you can't have Honaker's offense on the field.
You can't get
Get
behind the sticks on offense. You got to capitalize on those drives and stuff. I think Rye Cove, another key for them having to getting a win here. And their only loss of the season, by the way, so far was to Honaker, 40-32 at Rye Cove. Their defense is averaging like 12.2 points a game. Cumberland District champs, 11-1. I mean,
they're a pretty good football team. You don't get here because you're not any good.
Right. They've been well tested. The Lane kid runs the ball. I think it's the Lane kid. It runs the ball exceptionally well. I agree with you. I think those are strong points. I think that probably one of the big things coming out of this game, if you're Rye Cove or Honaker, is how well the line of scrimmage is going to be handled. If Rye Cove is to keep the ball away from Honaker, which is what the formula seems to be that everybody's trying to come up with to beat them, if you do that, then you're going to have to control the line of scrimmage. And it's going to be interesting to see how that plays out for them. I think Honaker's some keys to their victory. They're going to have balance on offense. They're going to have to be able to keep Rye Cove's defense honest. You can't allow them to just cover or defend the pass. You're going to have to establish a run game early on, not wait until you have to run the football, as they have had in a couple of situations. Don't get behind like you did against PH. Don't have 2 turnovers early in the ball game. Take care of the ball. Avoid that slow start and get off to a good start. Because when you get to playoffs, you're playing higher caliber teams, and you're not going to be able to overcome a 22-8 deficit the same way the further you advance. So they need to get off to a good start.
Yeah, they can. The big thing for Honaker, don't turn the ball over.
Yeah,
That's the big thing.
I think if their defense can
And
force,
again, that's what I was going to say.
Yeah.
The defense has to 3 and out.
yeah,
If they're giving up first down after first down after first down, and then their offense is sitting over there, and then they
Yeah.
come out and not getting in the flow of the game,
Right.
they have to 3 and out Rycove.
and Rycove, that's exactly what naturally they're trying to avoid.
Yes.
But at the same time, Rycove, you're going to sustain a long drive, eat clock. You're going to have points to show for it. Eat up the clock.
Oh.
Yeah, not literally eat the clock. No, eat clock. Not what you think.
My bad, boys.
Somebody's mind's in there.
I'm getting old. My hearing's not as good as it was then. That's like when somebody caulked my shower in there. He said he loved that caulk.
Oh, Lord. All right, so I'm going to give my take on this. I'm going to go with Honaker in the end. In this one, I think that they're just a little bit maybe more battle tested, and they've impressed me enough. When I watched them come back that second half against in that first PH game, I kind of
That was impressive.
My respect for them went up considerably when they showed they were able to run the football. So I'm going with Honaker in this one, 40-32, same exact score as the first game. What you got, Coach?
I think I'm going to say the weather's nice, 50 degrees, shouldn't be raining or anything. I'm going to say Honaker 35-21.
All right. Another thing I'd add before we jump on to the next game real quick, I think the higher the score goes, naturally the more it favors Honaker. This last game, Rycove did not put the points on the board like I know they probably wanted to. And I think that's a thing of concern for them going into this ball game. Can they match Honaker? They're not going to match them point for point. They did the first game of the season. They did a really good job of that. But Gnarls just proved to you that you
can't
match
score
them.
with.
You can't score with them.
I mean, Coach Collier's got the right idea. Keep the ball from them, ball control, and they can move the ball against Honaker. If that happens and this game is close, if it's 14-7 or 7-7 or something like that at halftime, watch out.
Yeah, I think I agree with you. Lower the score, it definitely
That's
favors
right.
Rycove. Honaker's going to have to focus on the Lane kid. I think they contain him, keep him under 100 yards rushing. I don't think Rycove can beat him. If he gets over 100 yards rushing, Rycove's going to be in the game. All right, but that's our final picks on that. Let's take a look real quick now to Division II championship game. I'll recap Union real fast. Union is 11-1 coming into this game. They're the Mountain 7 champs. They have one loss this season. It was to Science Hill. And Rayshawn Anderson is their go-to guy. And they pretty much like to establish the power run game. And they do mix up a little bit of pass, but they are predominantly a run team. A little bit of a breakdown on Graham there, Coach.
Nah, it's the final score. Graham.
No.
Oh, you don't want? There's no breaking it down. They're playing the real deal ball right now. Everyone's healthy. Everyone was against them at the beginning of the year because they was losing. They was banged up. They wasn't playing good. But there's one person that wasn't.
You. Yeah. All right.
They are who they thought they were.
All right, well, I'll give you, they are who they thought they were.
Yeah.
They are who they thought they were. They're defending Class II champs, Southwest District champs, averaging 50 points a game. The last 6 games.
They've lost one game in 100 games.
And lost to Union.
Who?
And Tydres Clements is their guy, and they will mix it up on you. They'll do a little bit of everything. Even last week, they jumped in that Wildcat, so they are very versatile, Graham is. Let's take a look at the keys to victory here. We'll start with Union. Union needs to establish the run game early. They need to force Graham to try to play catch-up like they did that first game. They get out and get a couple scores on Graham. I think that their defense is capable of holding off Graham. They can't have costly mistakes or penalties early on in the game. If they do that, it's going to come back to bite them. And they just got to keep Graham honest. They can't allow Graham to just stack the box on them and just stop the run. They've got to mix it up, throw the ball a little bit. I think that's been their Achilles heel in the past few years, and this year they have done a much better job passing the ball. As a matter of fact, Cam Bostic threw a touchdown pass to Rayshawn Anderson, I think it was this past week. So
Trickery.
Yeah, a little bit of trickery, chicanery, as they call it. And I think they need to, maintain their composure. Don't panic. Union has 6 sophomores on this team. This is a big game,
Very
and
young.
you know what happens when you get in a big game situation. But they do have that home field advantage at Bullitt Park, and there's not quite anything like it. As far as Graham goes, some keys.
Just got to play defense.
I think that you play solid defense. I think they have the athleticism on offense to. Graham, you could be shutting them down, and the next thing you know, they've scored 14 on you, snapping the finger.
That quick.
The last time these two teams played, the tail tape basically came down to the line of scrimmage, and Union whipped them up
They
front.
did.
And I think that's going to come into play this time. How well does that line of scrimmage go? Graham cannot have a couple costly turnovers. And I think, to be honest with you, probably the biggest thing for Graham coming into this game is discipline. If they can eliminate those penalties and costly mistakes, and when something goes wrong, don't lose their heads and keep their composure about them, I think they have a really good shot of pulling this off. And I wouldn't call it an upset. Still, I think a lot of people are favoring Graham to win this thing. This is going to be a heck of a football game. Couldn't probably play it in a better location than Bullitt Park. People will be getting there way early. So this is going to be a heck of a game. Any thoughts on this from you real quick before we make our predictions?
No.
All right. Well, taking a look at this one right here, I'm going to go in and I'm calling it right now 32-16 Union. And Union will win the Region D championship game 32-16. What do you got, Coach?
Listen, they've played close year after year after year.
Yep.
It's come down to a field goal, blocked field goal, last second quick pitch.
Yeah.
It all comes down close game. The edge goes to Graham. They win 56-12.
We pull away in the fourth quarter. So you're calling out Graham's going to win it in the Region D championship.
Graham will be your
All right.
Region D champion again.
All right. Well, folks, there you heard it. Graham in a squeaker. All right. We'll get into a little bit more next week about what's going to happen after these games are over, who their opponent's going to be, and what we think about the VHSL playoffs moving forward. And we've also got our end of the year awards, our finale coming up next week. So make sure you watch it. We're going to have a little bit of fun, and you may hear your name or one of your schools or something about your school. We're going to cover a few other. That's right. You may not hear it. We'll talk about a few other little things here and there. Game of the year, players of the year, play of the year, stuff like that. Best place to grab a hot dog, best concession stand, all that and more next week's show. And that'll wrap it up for episode 6.12. Do you have anything else, Coach?
I do not.
All right. Until next time, I'm Coach Moore.
Coach Krieger.
Reminding you that common sense is like deodorant. Some people don't have it.